All right, welcome back to a second day of a flipped classroom where you are listening to me teach you about Tinkercad on your own personal Chromebook. You are working at your own pace, so feel free to turn on the closed caption words if you need to, so you can understand me a little bit better. Feel free to stop this as many times as you need. Feel free to play this as many times as you need as well so you can get the assignment done. So as you can see, I'm on my workspace here. I've got the shape that we started working with yesterday. I don't necessarily want to delete that shape. It's not super important, but I'm just going to go ahead and move it off to the side. What we're going to do right now is we are going to create a heart shape, and then we are going to create a second heart shape with a hole in the center of it. So first, what I need you to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to pull in a box. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and look at my view here. I want this box, I need to rotate it so that this corner is pointing towards me. So I'm going to grab my rotation arrow here at the bottom of that box here. If you hover over it, you'll just see something that looks kind of like a compass that allows you to turn. So then if I actually click it, if I pull out, I can go by single numbers. If I push in just a tad bit, I will go by bigger chunks. And I only want us to turn it 45 degrees, okay? So you need to turn this exactly 45 degrees. So now it has a point that is looking right at you. All right. Now, the second thing that I'm going to need you to do, I'm going to go ahead and scoot that up. That won't change where that point is. That's just scooting that up a little bit. I'm going to need you to pull in a cylinder, okay? Go ahead and pull in that cylinder, and then I would like you to go up into your upper left-hand corner, right next to the trash can. You should see a duplicate tool. We used this yesterday. Go ahead and click that duplicate tool, and then you should be able to pull a second sphere or a second cylinder out. We're going to use both of these cylinders. Now, what I would like you to do is you're going to go ahead and pull the cylinder up to your box so that about half of that cylinder is sticking out of the box and about half of that cylinder is inside the box. Okay? And then you're going to go ahead and do that with the second cylinder as well. You should see we're making that heart shape by putting these cylinders in there. Once again, about half of that cylinder should be sticking out of the box and about half of that cylinder should be in the box. So I'm going to scoot this one on just a little bit more, and then I'm going to go ahead and look above. Mine is a little lopsided, so I'm going to pull this one out just a tad bit because I don't want it to be lopsided. I want it to be perfect. So if I look at that, that is very close to being perfect. I'm going to just barely scoot this over a nudge, and then that is perfect, okay? So I've got about half of these. Now what I would like you to do, I'm going to change my view again. I would like you to go ahead and draw that box around all of these so that I can grab all of my shapes together. And then you're going to go up to the group tool and group these together. I want to leave my heart one color. I'm not going to change the color. So I'm going to click on that. I know now that I can move my heart wherever because I have now grouped all of my shapes. Once again, I'm going to ask you to do the duplicate tool. And then I would like you to just take the corner and pull it in. And so you should see that now you're making one of the hearts smaller. And then I'm going to adjust my view so that I'm looking at the top. I'll just go ahead and click the top. So I'm looking right at the top view. And then I'm going to take that second one that I had and I'm going to put it right in the center here. Right in the middle of the second heart. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and I want to make sure that this heart is going to go all the way through. So I'm going to raise the height of this heart just to ensure that I know that it's going to go all the way through. Then I'm going to adjust and I'm going to check my bottom just to make sure that it is actually all the way to the bottom of my other heart. Then I'm going to go back to my home view. And then now I need to turn this second heart into a hole. So I'm only going to click the middle heart. And I'm going to turn it into a hole. So that, so I go up into my shape finder. Instead of clicking the color button, I click the hole button. Let me do that again. So I'm going to click it back to being a solid. Then I click that middle heart. Click your hole button to turn it into the kind of grayed out version of that. And then once again, you're going to draw a box around both of those so that you've captured all of them. And then you're going to click group. And when you click group, you should now have formed a hole in your heart. Now, instead of changing your view, this time what I would like you to do is you are actually going to go ahead and you're going to spin your view around. I would like you to grab the rotate button here at the side. So once you've spinned your view around, you're going to grab the rotate button here. And I would like you to go ahead and rotate this down 90 degrees. Rotate it 90 degrees. Now, when I rotate it 90 degrees, my heart is sticking underneath of my workspace. So I'm going to grab the black arrow at the top and I'm going to lift it up so that now I want this number right here in the corner to be 0. So now that tells me that I have now lifted my heart up. It's right on the workspace, and I'm going to go ahead and take a snip of this. Remember, my computer looks different than yours. When you're taking a snip, you should be snipping using Control, Shift, and your change window button all at the same time. I'm going to put my mouse, my cursor, which is a plus sign above the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to draw over the length that I would like. I'm going to pull down the height that I would like, and I'm only capturing that heart shape. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to save that as heart. You don't have to save yours. Yours saves automatically. Go ahead and save that. I'm going to click out of this. Going back to my Tinkercad Portfolio, I need to go ahead and go up to Insert, down to New Slide. Oop, I'm going to undo that. Sorry about that. Make sure that you're on your last slide. So this should say Tinkercad Practice Day 1. Now click Insert, New Slide down here at the bottom. And I'm going to just title this Tinkercad Practice Day 2. I know it's not super creative, but that's just what I'm going to title it. And then I'm going to go ahead and insert that image of the heart in there. So going down up to Insert, down to Image. I'm going to click the blue button, choose an image to upload. And then I found my heart here. I'm going to open it up. And I've got my heart in. We're only going to be doing 2 things today, so I'm going to go ahead and fold that down and make my heart nice and big in this slide here. And then now I want to go back to Tinkercad. I'm going to go to my home view. I'm going to push my heart out of the way because I don't really need that so much anymore. And this time, you're going to pull in a cylinder. Okay, we're making one more thing. We're going to make a button here. So I'm going to pull in a cylinder. And I'm going to actually, what I need you to do is you're going to click, you're going to make this so that the cylinder, its full radius is wider. So I'm going to pull this out so that I have a radius of 25 going in my width. And then I'm going to pull it down. Oops, excuse me, that's my width. And I'm going to pull this so that I have 25. Basically, both sides are 25. I want it to be even. Actually, I'm going to go out to 30. Now that I'm looking at this, I'd rather this be 30. So if I've made sure that both sides are 30, then what I would like you to do is I'm going to change my view. I want you to grab the white box at the top, and I want you to pull that down. I want you to change your height to 5. Okay. Now, what I would need you to do is you're going to go ahead and duplicate that, okay? And then I'm going to pull my smaller one in, and I want that one to be a width and a height of, or basically I want it to have a radius of 26 all along. I'm going to change to my top view. I'm going to center this in the middle, and then I'm going to now change back to my front view. Well, I'm going to be in between my front and my top view. And I'm going to pull this up. I want this to have a height of 6. Because I know buttons oftentimes have different layers. So I want my button to have a little bump there. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group that together, so that now I have my one whole button here. But I know that the buttons that are on my shirt always have 4 holes in them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull in another cylinder. And I'm going to make this cylinder a lot smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in right here. If you use the black boxes on the sides here, that changes only the width and the height. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to go ahead and pull that in. I'm going to make this a width of 6, and I'm going to change the other side to be 6 as well. And then I don't care if it sticks all the way out like that. That is totally fine with me. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate that. And then I can pull that off to the side. Let's make that so that it is right next to that shape. Then I'm going to duplicate that because you want 4 of these. So I'm going to stack them nice and neat. Then I'm going to duplicate that. And then we have 4. What I'm going to do now is I would like you to go ahead and you're going to group all of these together. Excuse me. You're going to ungroup all of those. And if I have all of these selected, so I'm going to draw my box around them to select them all, I can go up here to the Align tool. And what I would like to do, I just want to make sure what this is going to do. So I'm going to undo that. And what I need to do is I need to align 2 at a time. So I'm only going to select so that I have 2. I'm going to click Align. If I do that, then I line those right up. Then I'm going to click these 2. If you push Shift while you're clicking, you can click both of those. And then I'm going to align those 2 together. And then what I would like to do is you just have to do the opposite. You're going to now align these guys together. And then you're going to click Shift, Shift. And I'm going to align these 2 guys together. Notice that I'm not using the middle. I'm using the farthest out. And that lines them perfectly up. So now I'm going to group all of these together, so that I can move, when I move one, I'm moving them all together. And as I'm seeing here, I made them a little bit too wide. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to go down, I'm going to click on my button, and I'm going to pull my button out, and I'm going to make my button bigger. So I made my button to 34. That should work. Now I'm going to readjust my holes here so that they're right in the center. Go to that top view to make sure that they're right in the center. I'm going to pull them over just a little tiny bit right in the center. Okay. Now, one last thing, I've got to turn my button holes actually into a hole. So I click those, turn them into holes. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw a box around all of these. I'm going to click Group. Okay. Now I want to take a snip really quick. Snip it. I'm going to save it. Save it. I'm going to run over here to my profile. I'm going to insert image